Okay, so I just had a little cry because my dog's in surgery, and I know I'm not this, and I know like she's gonna be fine. And I know that, I'm not this, and I know how short life is, and I know like there's so much worse in the world, and I know like people would kill for my problems. So I know all these things. But I came up with this thing a long time ago as a new healer called the hangnail theory. And it's like, if the worst thing someone has ever had is a hangnail, then they can act like the world is ending. Just from hangnail. Anyway, and depending on, here's how it seems to go. Depending on how much someone has suffered, like if they've only had a hangnail, then they don't seem to have very good coping skills, and they seem to complain a lot about small things. And then if someone suffered a lot, then they tend to not complain much about anything. They seem to have a higher level of gratitude, which is a higher vibration. And then if you take someone who's suffered a lot, and then they do inner work, spiritual work on themselves and keep going. So they don't just suffer and then say, okay, I'm going to go, live the best I can live. If someone at that point, like you suffer, and then you get that gratitude when your life gets some sort of normalcy. Okay, there's the voice that tells me this video sucks. Just going to push through. So if you take the suffering that you've done, and then you don't just like rest, and say, okay, well, everything's good now. If you keep moving forward with that level of gratitude, and then you feel how good it feels when you get on a plateau, when you're not worried about your safety or security or your sanity, and then from there, from that plateau place, you decide that you want to, I call it raise your vibration, do spiritual work and see how far you can get. So there's the people with, in the hangnail theory, the worst thing they ever had is a hangnail. They complain about everything. Then there's the people who've suffered, and then they become in a good place. And then they get irritated by the people with the hangnails who've never had any problems. Irritated. And then there's the people who use their time and energy once they're on the plateau to like raise their vibration and go for a higher plane of existence. Those people have compassion, love plus understanding, for the people who've suffered, but they also have compassion for the people with the hangnails, screaming and crying about pronouns and things like that. And I know I sound like I'm making fun of the people with the pronouns, but I have compassion for those people, because to me, that's a hangnail. The people that are running around screaming about pronouns, I have compassion for those people, love plus understanding. And I'm not saying I'm like, even Crowley Bob or whatever. I don't have time for those people whining about pronouns. And if that's that important to them, then I know that they don't know what true suffering is. True suffering. Because once you've really suffered through cancer or assault or, suicidal thoughts or whatever, once you've really, really suffered, lots of loss, whatever, however you get to the mass suffering, pronouns are like hangnails. And also, like, some people now are finding out some because of the internet, they're finding out some truths of some things that are really difficult to deal with because people are home. And so some of the words that I've been saying are ringing true in a different way for some people. And the people with the hangnails, the people complaining about pronouns, they're not, we know, the people who have suffered and the people who know stuff know that people who are bitching about pronouns don't know what's been happening to children. They have no idea what's happening right now to children and grown-ups, heinous behaviors and acts and things like that. And I've spoken before about an anonymous group online, and I wasn't talking about the QAnon phenomenon. I was talking about people who were onto some stuff. Like, for me, it happened in the 90s. So my awakening, well, I felt stuff in the 70s, but I could only take in a certain amount because I was a child, you know, and then the 80s, I felt a certain amount, but I could only take in a certain amount around my regular, normal life as a teenager, you know. And then in the 90s, whatever that was, you know. So I've only taken in what I can take in at the time while living my life. This time right now is an incredible time. People in like lockdown or quarantine or whatever, they're finding the time to do their own research. And it's available. You cannot believe how much information is available to you through the internet. And so things line up in certain ways that make you respond differently than if those other things did not line up. All right, so my dog, I had to bring my dog in for surgery today. And so then I just talked to the doctor, and, you know, it's not that it's not a big deal. It's a big deal to me, but I don't have my 100% like energy, highest possible vibration to deal with like getting a text, you know, I get texts from people and it's normally fine. It's great. But I was not as gentle and loving as I would normally be or would love to be with a friend because of the situation with my dog. And I started making these videos a long time ago, and I put on my distance healing, things like that, or whatever. And today I didn't do well with someone, as a friend of mine, texting, saying something that I was like, dude, I freaking said that in a video. I didn't say it like this, but I said that in a video like months ago. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, and in the grand scheme of things, nothing's a big deal. But I'm sorry that I just got a phone call. I just handled the phone call with the doctor, and then I get the text right then. Like if I had gotten the text prior, then it would have been different. And if I, so all these things line up to have me in a reaction mode or an active mode. And so somewhat active, but a little more reactive than I would like for myself. Oh, yeah. So, all right. We have this option, to just live the life that as it comes towards us. Live it as it comes towards us, or in my metaphor for, like, you go through something and then you get on the plateau where you're like, okay, fine, I can take a breather now, is a raft. Sometimes the raft flips over and then you have to climb back up on the raft. And some periods of time in your life, like when I lost my, when I was losing my job, I had to get rid of I lost all very close together. I lost my mother, my house, my job, my career, which means I had to sell my car. I lost all these things all at once. My mom, my house, my career, my car. I had to sell my car. Oh, so all this stuff, it felt like the raft kept flipping. It felt like the raft net wouldn't stop flipping over. All right. And so in those periods of time, when the raft keeps flipping over, you get a real chance to surrender. You get a real opportunity, I'm going to call it, to surrender, to just surrender. Surrender is a form of meditation. It's where you just stop trying. You just let the bottom fall right out. You just let go. And if I had gotten to that state before I responded to the text, I hadn't surrendered. If I had just surrendered first, then my friend's text where instead of being like, it seems like, and I don't need everybody to watch my videos, but it seems like my friends that watch my videos, like, never waste my time. Like, never ever waste my time. They're like caught up, and then we go from there. And they're just, those people are just easier for me to be around right now. But those people are easy for me to be around, right? The people who watch my videos and they're all caught up and whatever, and we're good, right? They're easy for me to be around. Other people who are not as easy to be around, I need to surrender first before I respond. I need to put myself in a state of surrender first before I deal with or respond to those people. That's what I need to do in order so that I can own and love and be proud of. There's ego, but it's ego in a positive way for now. That's by surrendering first before responding. I stay in an active mode. I surrender completely to the present moment, however it is, whether my dog's in surgery, whether I, money or whatever. I just surrender first. Then the behavior that comes after I surrender is going to be peaceful warrior active versus fool reactive. And my friend who I didn't treat the way that I would have liked to. So the behavior that I did was not behavior that I am really super proud of or can really own. Because in the moment, it was annoying to me that I've said this. I said this months ago, and now, but it's not a big deal. Hopefully, she didn't even notice that I was in a reactive state rather than in an active state. And luckily, she knows that I love and adore her. So she knows this. Okay. But had I just taken, 3 minutes to just surrender. My dog's in surgery. This is what's going on. And just let the texts go or let the phone calls go or whatever. Just take a minute. Take 3 minutes. Surrender to the moment. This is just what's happening now. Whatever's happening now, those are my hangnails. Because I've already suffered. And then beyond that suffering, I've set an intention to live a spirit-directed life, feel my healing feelings to release them, raise my vibration as high as I possibly can, move towards 1,000 and beyond, whatever I can do. And then, so I have a friendship that I'm done with because the person screamed at me, okay? When I forget how grateful that I am not to have to deal with that anymore, I can easily get annoyed or frustrated or whatever, to a certain extent. All I have to do to fix that in my mind, get straight or surrender to it or get, become grateful that I no longer have to deal with behavior that I don't resonate with. And when someone's screaming at you, they're in a victim mindset. If someone's screaming at you, they are a victim of you. It's a victim mindset. It's so simple. Let's say that I could have, when the person was screaming at me, I said, this is too much drama for me. I'm out. Okay, when I was able to stay active and I made choices to stay and listen and stop them from screaming at me for 12 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I'm just done. I was like, stop. This is too much drama for me. I'm out. That was an empowered and peaceful warrior active mindset. I stayed. I remember going through it. I remember trying to stop the person, trying to beg them to let me talk. I remember pushing my belly down. I remember commanding my body to breathe. Because I actually had one of my guided healing meditations coming up in like 15 minutes. So it could be argued that I was in a reactive mode. I was reacting to, my meditation starts in 15 minutes and I need to be calm and grounded and centered. But it was just, a better way to deal, a better way to be. So I forced myself to live during those 15 minutes in a way that I would like to live all the time. So that was my desire. I showed myself that I could get screamed at while I'm getting screamed at, keeping my mind straight that in 15 minutes I'm going to be showing up for a group of people, calm and centered, to run a meditation. So I feel my body reacting to getting screamed at, but I just say powerfully, no, big belly breathe, stop, let me talk for a second, give me a minute, whatever. And then it wasn't working. Well, I just said, I watched the clock going. I used it as an exercise to keep my body in check, to keep my own vibration as high as possible while still allowing the experience. So I powerfully allowed the experience of getting screamed at. And that wasn't the first time I've done that. I did that as a pilot with these people, the walkers. There's a video of that. It's very empowering when you can let someone scream at you and you can just maintain your grounded connection to Mother Earth and keep big belly breathing and command your body. You lower your heart rate and stay grounded. And then you act as a peaceful warrior. And the way you need to act as a peaceful warrior is going to change. It's going to depend. You can allow your spirit to guide you in that way. And that's how I do it. I'm open to the words. I'm opening to my higher self. And my higher self gives me the words. My higher self tells me, okay, stop. That's enough. I've had enough. It's too much trauma for me. I'm out. Okay. What do I want to say? I want to say, I'm starting a group within a group. So inside the Renegade Yogi group. The Renegade Yogi group, as it is meant for everyone. It's meant for everybody to calm down, come to center, find their center. I'm starting a new group inside that group. Blue Renegade Yogis. So inside, and I'm calling it blue because there was a post I put up on the page. Who do I want to be during COVID-19? And it talks about, do I want to like hoard toilet paper or, fight people? Or do I want to be kind, and do I want to like take care of others and this? So my friend is doing this thing called DBT, and it's about coping skills. It's very cool. And she shared this thing on the page, on the Renegade Yogi page. And I think it's very valuable. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people shared it. One person responded saying this, something about this post speaks to privilege, something like that. And I said, I responded, because I have to respond now. I need to keep that page empowered, not fear-based, no fear programming. And I had, this is a side note here, I know it's a tangent, but one woman posted something that was fear-based. I ripped it right down, and I sent her a message, and I said, I'm happy to include that person in nightly distance healing. So I'm going to do nightly distance healings, 10:30 or so every night. Just a little bit every night for whoever wants it. Feel free to put yourself in this. Just at around 10:30 or before you go to bed anytime. I open to receive healing in my highest best interest now. And see yourself in the center of the big white spotlight of the highest, holiest source, creator, energy, God. Or just see yourself hug Jesus. Something like this. When someone says that post has something to do with privilege, it's saying that there's a group that is so privileged that it's easy to do that, which also implies that there's another group, poor victims, that have no access to thinking this way. So I responded saying, the word privilege implies victimhood. And when I had $3 to my name and I lived in my car, this post still would have had valuable information for me to make the best choices in my own highest best interest. Something like that. Now, she ended up removing what she wrote. So it all got, so what I responded, but one of the other people in the group said, when she wrote about privilege, I said, okay, noted or point taken, whatever. And it's like, no point taken. That means, okay, I see that you're, privilege. What that does, okay, when people talk about privilege and when people virtue signaling is just toxic. When you're setting either yourself or someone else, doesn't matter, up as a hero or a victim or a martyr, that's all ego. It's 100% ego. Are people suffering in the world? Absolutely. They really, really are. They really are. Like, I don't plan on telling everything that I know, because it's so disturbing. The dark web is a very disturbing place, but it's thriving right now. Like all these other things shut down, but the dark web is thriving. And I've said before, you can rent an infant for $300 an hour. That's just tiny piece of information. All right. And people who complain about pronouns, are victims. They're in a victim mentality. I have no use for that. And it's not that I don't love them. I bless and I forgive and I respect their free choice and I love them. But I am not going to use my resources of time, energy, and money to be available to anyone below a 200 level courage vibration. And so this new group, the Blue Renegade Yogis, I'm going to be moving a very small chunk of people. There's the hangnail people. There's the people who've suffered. And then there's the people that want to go like, let's see how far I can go. Let's see how far we can go. Let's see how high we can make our vibration. Now, the people in this group are going to be able to handle a lot of stuff that's boring and a lot of stuff that's triggering, because the people who are ready and wanting to go past the plateau of I'm okay. So there's a lot of people on that plateau, and that's great. They're meditating, they're showing up in the Renegade Yogi group, and they're working at blessing, forgiving, respecting free will choice, and loving. I went to a shaman a couple of years ago. No, more than that. It was 2017 I went. 2017, wow. I went to this shaman, and she was talking about how she was having, she had some concerns, let's say, politically. And I said, okay, if you want to get even better with that, then this is what you can do. And she goes, no, I'm fine with it. It's fine. So she basically was saying, I don't want to grow past where I am. I'm good. So she's on the plateau. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong there. Those people are maintaining peace, and they are maintaining their highest vibration, but they don't want to grow. I have to respect that. So the regular Renegade Yogi group is geared towards that. People saying, okay, I bless, forgive, respect free will choice, and love all. I get it. That decreases drama for me. I'm impeccable with my word. I don't take anything personally. I never make assumptions. I always do my best, and I'm skeptical but learn to listen. So the 5 agreements, they practice the 5 agreements, or they practice the Renegade Yogi principles, but they have an idea of, okay, I'm fine now. But there's this other group of people that I'm connecting with, that are connecting with me, that, let's just kind of say, they're kind of bored with that. They're a little bored with that, and they're like, give me more now, because I feel like I can go higher or have a higher vibration. Not out of like, I got to save the world, okay? It's not a social justice warrior. It's not a virtue signaling thing. It's just a calling. They're feeling called to the higher vibrations by their spirit, their soul, or let me use my, meat suit. Let me use this manifestation, this incarnation, this manifestation of me in the world, this incarnation. Let me see how far I can get. So I'm starting this group, the Blue Renegade Yogi group, just for those people. And it's not meant to leave anyone in the regular Renegade Yogi group out. It's just meant for the people who are like, I want to see how high I can make my vibration. The reason it's not available for every single person is because it's going to trigger the ego. It's just going to trigger the ego. And I'm not available to deal with people's ego triggers. You have to deal with your own egoic triggers. It's not for everybody. It's just not for everybody. Most people are like that shaman who's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And she is. She's great. And she does great work. But she's not interested in going any further. But there are a very small group of people that I'm finding that do want to go farther, that do want to say, yeah, let me see how far I can go. Let me see. And so they're basically signing up for their egos to get triggered. So you're all welcome. it's an invitation only type of deal because the people who are already given up enough of their ego to go there, if we allow people in the group that can't handle their own triggers or the vibration isn't high enough, they're going to slow down the progress of this other group. And I've said it before, the numbers don't lie. One person vibrating at 1,000 raises 2 million people vibrating at 200, which is courage. So I'm very excited for this group. I'm so in love with this group. I'm very excited for this opportunity. I'm just excited. So I'm going to send this video to specific people that I believe belong in this group of Blue Renegade Yogis. And if I didn't send this video to you either through text or messenger, or I don't know how all that works. If you did not get this video specifically from me and you want to be in the group, text me 203 Dog Mama and we'll have a chat. But I turned 50 August 7th, and after that I want to put something together, something for the specific blues, and then after that for the rest, everybody else. But I want to work very closely with the blues because I'm finding that a little bit of my energy goes so far for them. I'm finding that they really want to do this work themselves, and I can work with that. It's like if I have $100 worth of energy, the lower vibrational people I need to give, I can work with two. $50 to this person, $50 to that person. But as the Renegade Yogis raise their vibration, that $100 of energy goes so much farther. So if they raise their vibration to like 500 love, now I can give, each person $1 and 100 people. But what I'm finding with the Blue Renegade Yogi group, and that's great, like love vibration, people are maintaining a 500 level love vibration, that is awesome. But what I'm finding with the higher vibrational, I'm spending like a quarter, worth of energy. And these blue Renegade Yogis only need like a quarter's worth of my energy to do the same thing that, that the other people needed $50 worth. So I'm really excited to work with my blues, and you're going to get, you may not get triggered. It's going to depend how well I present the information. And so you're going to have to ask me questions, and there's going to have to be some pushback and some ownership about, being triggered or not. But there's no better time to do this. So I love you guys. I'm so excited. 333.